Good morning, it's Adam from Better Proposals here, and today I've got the great pleasure of interviewing one of my best friends, Tim Coe. He's the author of the book Your Utterly Seductive Proposal, and he, over the last 30 years, has run many different kinds of businesses in many different industries, but these days settles on a marketing agency that specialises in helping people find out what's unique about their business and what they do, and then shouting from the rooftops about it. This guy, I've known him for 10 years. He's helped me more in those 10 years than maybe anybody else on the planet, perhaps only second to my parents. So without further ado, Tim Coe. So obviously you've been in business for quite a long time at this point.
29 years.
29 years.
29
Have you got any ideas for celebrating your 30th year?
I thought about it actually.
You should do. It's worthwhile celebrating.
Maybe come and have a meal here.
Yeah.
And film it.
Yeah.
You and me.
Yeah, just nice. No candles.
I haven't thought about celebrating.
No. So that's kind of something I wanted to touch on actually, because most people start businesses and within about 30 minutes they've given up. You, after nearly 30 years, are still clanging and banging your way through this wonderful world of
hanging on in there.
Yeah, so how have you kept this whole thing, how have you kept yourself sort of...
Hope.
Hope.
As long as you've got hope, you can keep going.
You're all good.
Yeah, I think it's, there's been ups and downs, and more downs than ups probably, but that makes the ups really good. So I think as long as you can keep focusing on getting the up again, it keeps you going, and the only way you cannot get that is if you give up. And as long as, I think if you believe in what you're doing and you have confidence and faith in it, and you see other people succeeding, and you look at them sometimes and think, there's nothing particularly special there. Maybe they're just working harder, or maybe they're just working in a different way, or maybe they know more. Maybe they go home and study for 6 hours an evening, which I don't. But I don't know. Everyone's got a secret, maybe.
So
I don't know.
You weren't always running a marketing agency, and we'll sort of get to that in a second, but what was your first business?
Catering. Just out on this street here, on
Really?
Lymington Market. Yeah, it was Coe's Crepes, French style pancakes.
Second business?
Sugar and lemon, 40p. Tea and coffee, 25.
Take me back to those days, eh?
Yeah, then I started doing deliveries, courier service. Then I started doing mobile car valeting.
Nice.
So I was using the same vehicle for 3 businesses.
Recycling, I like it.
Recycle, I think it's cycling.
No, that's recycling as in using...
Yeah, exactly. And that was in 1988. I started a car valeting business, which is still going today. I was showing somebody today photos
That's wicked.
and the website of one of the new owners. Good foundations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that business for 10 years. Then we started turning that business into because obviously cleaning cars, you started noticing damage on cars. So bumper scuffs, stone chips, windscreen repairs, car phone holes on dashboards, mirror casing scratches, alloy wheel scuffs, cigarette burns, leather seats. Just to repair all those.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Got a job for you.
Yeah, a lot of people have, but it was so dependent on the weather that I'll never have a business dependent on equipment, staff.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not, but you can't say that. But definitely not dependent on the weather again, because it's so frustrating not being able to work because it's cold or wet or snowy.
So
or too hot.
Building houses, is that the question?
Yeah, there's too many people doing that.
So that's kind of what I wanted to come to actually. So, so these days you're running a marketing agency. Can you give us a bit of a sort of update, I suppose, as to sort of the types of people that you're helping and the kind of work that you're doing?
Well, they're mostly business-to-business services, because all my experience is, well, apart from what I just said, the businesses after that were pretty much business-to-businesses, B2B service type businesses.
Yeah.
And I like services because you can just change one little thing instantly, and you've changed not changed the whole business, but you've changed, for example, the way it's delivered. So you've created some difference. So what's the question again?
Just giving an update as to sort of the types of work that you're doing and the kind of results that you're getting people.
Yeah. Well, my key area seems to be creating something about a business that people can remember, something that they can exploit and build their marketing around. So whereas you might see a typical marketing agency's website called something marketing, and a list of services like what we do, SEO, websites, design, I don't think you can do any of this until you've got something to say. So having something to say is the main thing here. And we haven't got my book here, have we? Which would have been a perfect point.
It would have been.
Talk about that, but yeah, the book was called Your Utterly Seductive Proposal, a play on the old USP. Because if you haven't got anything to differentiate your business, anything that is going to be majorly of value to your ideal target client, so you can charge more money, then the only common denominator is going to be price. So they're going to come to you and say, I can get it for X over here. And unless you can say you can't because it's not the same product, you're in a discount battle.
So that's one of the things I wanted to.
Likes to be.
Yeah, no, that's a really good shout actually. And one of the things I wanted to bring up with you actually was a lot of the users that we have on Better Proposals are sort of design agencies, run web design companies, marketing companies, that kind of thing, and do sort of service-based stuff. But obviously, how do you tell one web designer from another? I mean, on the most part, if you can set up a WordPress website, you know your way around a design program and you can change some colors around, you're pretty much all offering, within reason, the same kind of stuff. So how, if you were working with a web design company, how would you go about trying to create something that's different for, to sort of differentiate one web design company from another?
Well, the easiest way is to obviously look at their work, but it's like an artist, isn't it? The work speaks volumes. That's all you need to see. But when it gets to websites, you could argue that most of them look the same.
I agree.
Or even the good ones look the same. It's hard to make something radically different. So I'll be looking at the process they used to develop the site. If there was anything different there, you could talk about. But would people be bothered about that because it's the end results all they're interested in? So for something like that, when you're really quite hemmed in by, the end result has to be a certain thing, and the process to doing it is quite rigid because it has to be designed. You have to think of that, then it's coded, and then it's visible, and the words go on, and the images. I don't know, something like that. Maybe it just needs to be a gimmick. It needs to be something, just a way to be remembered, because it's so competitive. You go to any networking group, and there's normally a web designer there, and you don't want to compete on price.
No.
And you can't say I can do it for you. And I mean, speed. I don't think people are too bothered about speed. You don't want to be the quickest. You don't want to be the slowest. There's. In terms of a technical innovation, I don't know, because the product is what it is. You could have some service guarantee, some promise, but again, I don't see where that's going to come in. I think it would just come down to some gimmick. I mean, there's a central heating firm in Gosport where I was trying to find a differentiation there, and the owner was completely honest. Said, Tim, there's nothing special about what we do. We put in central heating, we service boilers. And then he just mentioned a guy called Norman that worked for him, and I just called Norman came into my head, and that turned into a whole rebranding exercise.
Is that the cartoon thing?
The just call Norman, cartoon type character. But it was they're not doing anything different, but the radio adverts were cold radiator, just call Norman. No hot water coming out of your taps, just call Norman. No life in your boiler, just call Norman. For anything central heating related, just call Norman.
So there's no change in the actual service, no change really in much else. It's just adding this memorable
phrase, just call Norman. The guy doing that, rebrand the vans, rebrand the shop, rebrand all the stationery, radio adverts. So all they have to remember now is just call Norman, not central heating services.
And did they go? Am I right in thinking that they actually registered a new domain for just?
Callnorman.co.uk. Callnorman.co.uk. Yeah, they even bought a domain.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that's sort of taking in sort of a simple sort of marketing gimmick and actually just running with it.
There was nowhere. Yeah, there was the normal way is to find some process or something that they're doing that they don't actually recognise, which quite often is the case that they're taking for granted and amplifying that. But in this case, there was nothing apart from a guy working for him called Norman.
So if you have a guy working for you called Norman,
you've got it made.
Yeah, except call Norman is taken.
Well, it could have been. He could have mentioned Adam. Just call Adam. You know,
no one would do that.
I just thought it was like Norman sounded like the type of guy that would turn up at your door with a toolbox to fix your boiler.
So, can you?
It's a funny one.
Yeah, and it's amusing. So, can you just sort of give us a really quick sort of overview as to the USP process that's in your book, and then just sort of let the people know where they can get hold of a copy of your book?
Sure. Well, the first stage before talking about features, benefits, differentiators in your product is just to know who's going to be buying from you.
Yeah.
So you can, when you think of these things, what's going to suit them. So the first thing is to work out who the ideal target client is.
Yeah.
So I have a set of questions for people selling to the general public and a set of questions for people selling to other businesses.
Nice.
So it's not just where are they located and how old are they. It's things like what stage are they at in their business, and what possible problems could they be having to make them think about X, Y, Z. Then we ask a series of questions like what journey can you take people on that no one else can. What is it about your product that I can't get anywhere else? Where do you add value that other people can't? If I'm your ideal target client, why should I use you instead of anybody else? And not just that, why should I even buy at all? Because I could buy from A, I can buy from B, or I could just leave it. The third choice, which a lot of people don't even think about.
So once you've gone through these different questions, then what's the sort of the end result in terms?
Well, you've got all this information. We refine it down, and we find the best of the best of the best of the best, and you end up with 2 or 3 points. Or we try and roll them into a 15 or 20 word phrase. So normally start with the end result, the major benefit you get. So it could be increase sales by 150%, and then mention the ideal target client. For your Lymington greengrocer business, pretty specific. So the greengrocer, they're talking to me. Increase, massive benefit. That's my business through the ABC marketing method. So that's the uniqueness. So that's the part that means nobody else can actually say it. Anyone can say increase sales. Any sales company could say increase sales by 150% for your, for your Brighton light bulb business. But if you add the unique method on the end, then no one else can say it. So you've got a unique way of doing it, and that adds the value.
That's wicked.
Yeah. So it's 3 parts really.
Cool. Okay. So how can people get a hold of your book? Where can they find you?
They can get my book from timcoe.com/book.
Simple enough.
timcoe.com/book. And Tim Coe is spelled COE.
Yeah, cool.
Sebastian.
I'm sure we can put a name tag somewhere on this video. So, okay, cool. Well, we should do this again because I think we can go sort of deeper into some of these different subjects. And
We can have a steak next time.
We should have a steak.
Great food here, as long as it doesn't fall through the hole in the table. Yeah, I mean, if the cameras pick that up, no, probably not.
No. Cool, brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Nice one.